Morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. I started Coffee Talk twice and Charlie interrupted twice. I thought about posting the outtakes. So today, as many of you know, we will be saying goodbye to my grandmother and celebrating her life, telling stories about her contribution, which, as sad as it is to say goodbye to somebody who was such an integral part of your upbringing, it's such an amazing opportunity to be able to celebrate the life of a woman who lived to be essentially 93 and healthy. And she was so funny. And I learned so much from her, which leads me to today's topic, which is reflection. When I taught high school moons ago, I read in a teaching book, I think it was John Dewey, who said, we don't, and I'm paraphrasing, we don't learn from the experience itself. We learn from reflecting on the experience. How many times have we engaged in a conversation with somebody and we think, oh, if I could only go back and say X. Even the phone call that I had with my grandma that Friday before she died, Saturday morning, I told her that I loved and missed her, but had I known that it was the last time I would ever speak to her, I would have said other things. I would have tried to validate her contribution as a grandmother to the best of my ability. How many times have we been friends with someone and seen how they fight with other people? Think about this. We've looked at their situation, seen how they handle dynamics, personal dynamics and relationships with other people, but somehow we think we are immune to that we will be different. And then when they lay the smack down on us, it's only in reflection that we realize we really were no different. That this is how that person handles interpersonal dynamics. Reflection is the best educator. Look back on experiences. If you're having trouble with someone, take the time to really think about how they handle other people, how they handle relationships in the workplace, romantic relationships, other friendships, and see, is there a pattern? Because you can almost dictate someone's behavior if you take the time to reflect. How many times we've had a conversation and wish we said something that we forgot to say? Is there still time? Because even in Coffee Talk, so many times, because I make it a policy to always post the first Coffee Talk, because I feel like it's the most authentic, but there are so many times that I'm like, I wish I said this, or I should have said that, and I make notes so that I can go back, in a few weeks and revisit the topic and do a remix on the topic, right? So many times I watch Coffee Talk back and I realize that there were things I forgot to say or I wish I had said different. It's all through reflection that I'm learning in Coffee Talk and through your comments. You guys are great. I learned so much about what it is you need and what dialogue you want through reading the comments, but this comes from reflection. Today, if you're struggling with someone, reflect on how they handled other situations. In particular, I have one friend that has a man in her life who has an ex-wife. And she's always, oh, the ex-wife's crazy, the ex-wife's this, the ex-wife's that. And I go, okay, before we're so quick to jump on the ex, and I'm not saying exes are not crazy because we know they can be. I'm saying, before we are quick to jump on the ex, take time to reflect on what her grievances in her marriage were and take a long, hard look at your relationship with him. Do you see any similarities? Do you see any patterns? How many times when we want a man to be what we want him to be so desperately, we're quick to dismiss the first relationship, the first wife, as crazy. It's only when we get into that relationship and we start seeing the similar behaviors that we start to go, oh, perhaps I should have reflected on what she said a little bit more. It's the same thing with friendships. When you meet someone and you go, oh, I'm good friends with so-and-so, and they go, oh, that girl, whew, she, blah, 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 blah. And you go, oh, really? That hasn't been my experience. Has it? Are there things you've been overlooking? Are there similarities in behavior? Because, most leopards are pretty, they wear their spots pretty securely. Anyway, take time to reflect today. Really marinate on things. Think before you speak. I love you today. Have a great day.